All right, there we go. I think I got everything working. So, let's see. It's been a while since I last had a YouTube live stream, and I've been working on a ton of rock tumbling and lapidary work. And since I have the day off today, I figured it'd be a good opportunity to make a quick live video and go through a bunch of my Virginia rocks and minerals. So some of these are my personal collection. Others I've listed for sale on Etsy. I'll let you know which is which. But I will start things off with a sneak peek of some Christmas trees that I've been making. So these are some sort of epidote that I find all over the place in Albemarle County, Virginia. It's pretty common material. It's not too hard to find. It takes a great polish. And of course, for my purposes, it's great because it's green. And of course, that makes for a good Christmas tree. So I've got one that I've already made. And then I just took these pieces out of the tumbler this morning. So you can see one bit up here is rough. That's where I'll put the E6000, and then I will scratch a little line into where it's going to match up here, and then glue them together. And so this one will end up looking kind of like this when I'm done. So that was just something I wanted to share real quick before I move on to actual stuff. So if you've been around for very long, you may know that I love chert. So let's take a look at some chert. So this piece, this is one where I've been doing more of these lately. Basically, I keep one side looking nice and raw and rough, and then I will smooth out the other side until it polishes. Huh. Hey Lily, hey Foxy. So this one, I love these like bands or layers. Oops. I think they came out really cool. And it took a nice polish. And then I'll just go through some of my other. Let's see, so this is more chert. It's just kind of a blue, which is very cool. And I love these little red lines that run through in this one. You can see, oh, thank you, I love that. You can see there's these little holes up here. There's always tiny imperfections. They're natural rocks, so not much you can do about it. This is like the super classic example of what chert looks like. It's this kind of grayish color. You can see a handful of lines here. There's a small little crack. But I prefer when staining or local minerals kind of get in there and change the way the rock ultimately looks. And chert always takes such a beautiful polish. This one you can see more of those little holes, but you know, that's okay. So let's see. So these are always really fun. I love, oh, well, thank you, Ford, for the jewels. I love when it has these lines just running through it. Let's see. For here, I've got a bunch. So these are on Etsy right now. Let me see if I can get the link to share properly. All right. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. So these, this is a big set. So I've got some blue, and this one's my favorite from the whole batch. It's got these really cool white lines that run through it for whatever reason. There we go. And then there's just a ton of these, all sorts of different colors. A bunch of really fun patterns running through each one. So these are mostly blues and reds, and it's a nice big set. So let's see. I can almost hold them all in my hands. So those are on Etsy if you're interested. But I'll go ahead and go through some more of these. This one, I love these little red lines. They're really pretty. This one didn't take as good of a polish as the others for some reason, but I love the color, so I put it in this set. And some you can see are a little bit darker. Let's see. Next, these are a little bit more kind of traditional for people who like crystals. So these are mostly from Albemarle County, Virginia. And you can see it, so there are teeny tiny fractures on the inside that create these really cool effects with the light. In this one, so the red is caused by iron staining, which I think is pretty cool. This one's got, it's probably mica in there that is creating that black line. And I just love that each one is so unique and different. So this one you can see there's all these little inclusions down here. And you can see those little fractures on the inside catching the light right there. And this one's super clear. Love it. And so I go out and I collect these along riverbeds. Sorry. I go out and I collect these along riverbeds or just trails. A lot of the chert I collect on neighbors' yards when they are like putting in a deck or something and a lot of dirt and rock gets kicked up. I'll ask if they mind if I pick through it when their contractors aren't around and take some of those nice Rockingham County chert. So you can see some of these are pretty clear, which is always nice to see. Others are a little bit milkier. That's usually caused by teeny tiny air pockets on the inside. And again, the red or pink that you're seeing is probably iron staining. So I have this batch listed on Etsy. I also have a ton more quartz just generally. So these are not on Etsy, although if anyone really wants them, I can put them there. Let's see. Let's do some of the yellow ones. So my husband does not like the yellow ones, but I think they're kind of cool. And again, just like the others, so here, I'll also have some of the red ones to show the difference. So in a milkier white quartz, you might get these red lines that are from iron staining. other times the iron staining is kind of more throughout the rock. So like this one, instead of red, it's more like, it's almost like a rust color kind of penetrates into the rock and gives you this yellow. And again, quartz tends to take a really good polish as long as you get a decent piece. Let's see. So this one, I cut this piece and I started to make it into a necklace and then it fractured and I kind of gave up. Let's see if I can get a brighter light. There we go. Yeah, that looks better. So I gave up on that one, but I do have some others that I've made into necklaces in the past, and it can make a really cool material. I love when you can see all these little striations, the like lines running through it, and they kind of glimmer. This one's a little bit milkier than the others, but that golden color along all those kind of fracture lines that have healed, so to speak, is why I kept this one. And a little bit more clarity on this quartz. Again, just some iron staining up here that helps give it some character. This one, I was not expecting to come out so pretty, but I love the lines. I actually have some more from that rock. That I cut, and I will eventually make a necklace out of these. So it made a beautiful, I just love the way this turned out. I think it's awesome. And then this one, it's a little bit thinner. There we go. Let's see, maybe if I zoom back out. There we go. So this one's a little bit thinner. But it took a really nice polish, and I love those golden streaks. Let's see, I'll put those back over there. And then one thing I'm trying to figure out, back to my little Christmas trees, what other shapes can I make that are Christmas themed to go with my little Christmas tree? So if you have any ideas, let me know in the chat, because I really want to make a bunch of either Christmas ornaments or Christmas themed rocks or something, but I'm having trouble coming up with shapes to use. But I really like this green. It reminds me a little bit more of like an evergreen tree. Anyway, so if you have any ideas for Christmas shapes, let me know. Let's see. We do, here in the Shenandoah Valley, have what's called Catoctin greenstone. I think this is maybe Catoctin greenstone. We'll see. If you're a geologist, feel free to jump in the comments and let me know if I'm right or wrong. But whatever these are, I think they're really pretty. It's got green, but there's also like little specks of purple, like almost a blue. I always think that these turn out really nice. So I've cut some into these little things. And this one's not listed on Etsy, but if anyone is interested in a set of these, go ahead and let me know in the chat, and I can throw a listing up of really anything that you see. Let's see. I do have some greenstones. Let's scoot over to one of the greenstones now. So these are some other just general epidote or greenstones that you can find in Virginia and that I've tumbled and polished. So this one, it's a little bit like Unakite in a lot of ways, but the feldspar isn't quite pink or peachy enough. It's closer to a white. I don't really see any quartz in there, but I really like this one. And then it's got a buddy. This one reminded me of like a watermelon skin when I first found it. And it's got a little bit more of the peach here. It's like almost, but not quite Unakite. See, so here's what, this is what Unakite would look like. You can see the pink and some really clear distinctions between the greens. Like this. So I'm not sure that I would call either one of these Unakite, but I really like them. We've got this epidote that's got these little like light specks. I always love when there are like cool little patterns that run through a rock. And this one is more of a consistent green. And of course, if you are interested at all in rock tumbling, I have so many videos of rock tumbling progress. So rocks going from what they started as to what they ultimately look like in the end when they're polished. They're lots of fun to make. So go ahead and check those out on the channel. So I've already talked about those. Let's look at, so these are a little bit more generic, but I always think they're cool. So this is just quartzite. A lot of it I find around Stanton, Virginia, especially when it has these little white specks or speckles in them. Let's see. So I thought that was polish getting stuck in there, but then I cut some open, which wouldn't have the polish in it, and just polished it on a pad and realized it's actually in the rock. So I don't know what it is, but it gives it a neat little character, maybe. So I find a lot of this stuff. It takes a really nice polish. It's really easy to polish. Every now and then I find some that has more of a color to it. So I have a small batch from one big rock that is more of a pink and gray. And then this one is more, this is more like a standard quartzite. You can really see the grains, the individual grains in there. When the light catches it, there's little spots between the grains that there was nothing there to polish, so it kind of leaves behind a speck. And then more of those pink. And some have a really pink color to them. We don't really know what's causing this almost brown or blue. Let's see, I've got some more of those that are pretty neat. One of the fun things is that the colors are always a little bit different. So sometimes you get this fleshy color. I wish I had more like that sitting out to show you. But yeah, you get this fleshy color or something like this where you can see, if you zoom in, which I can't really do, you can see there are little clear specks of quartz mixed in with the dark chunks. Maybe on this side you can see it. You can kind of see the individual grains pretty well on this one, which I think is really neat to see. This one reminds me of like a mountainous range. This is a bigger gray. Let's see. Let's do some of the blue metabasalt. So these are some of my favorites. So I find a lot of these by, like, if you go to Sugar Hollow, outside Charlottesville, Virginia. So you've got the blue metabasalt, and then you have all these white areas of milky quartz. There's green, that's probably epidote, maybe some sort of chlorite. And then little specks of purple even. But these take such a nice polish. I love making little necklaces out of them. Let's see, here's another one that came out really well. So it's an amygdaloidal metabasalt is the technical name. So it's metabasalt, and then amygdals are the little holes that were initially left behind. The basalt is lava, and then the lava cools. And then over time, under pressure, the cooled lava, which is called basalt, turns into metabasalt. And it still has these little holes, and those holes can fill up with other material. And here in the valley, it often fills up with some sort of quartz. You can see there's a darker green in some of the holes. That's probably not epidote. That's probably more like a chloride or something. And then there's more of that dark green right here. I actually just recently posted a short video cutting open some metabasalt. You might want to check out. And then I really like when you get a nice blue that's just speckled with quartz instead of having epidote. And there's some tiny hints of green on this one, but I love this pattern. It creates such a cool pattern. And this, I don't even know what it is, but it's like a painting. I just love it. And it took such a pretty polish. You never know with these blue rocks. Some of them are kind of crumbly, some of them not. Oh, well, thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Moisha. Hope I'm saying that right. This one, I've always had trouble capturing it well on video. It has this almost like metallic sheen to it that I can't quite get my camera to capture the way I want it to. But these are always really fun. It's a really fun surprise when you get a rock. These may have, no, they didn't come from the same rock. Like this, even this white area over here looks pretty cool. This is one of my favorites. Because the color's kind of gross in a way, but it's also pretty. These are just random rocks, so there's no rhyme or reason when I find something like that. Other rocks, like this is a classic Catoctin greenstone, I think. This one took a unusually good polish. And it's got this nice gradient of greens to an almost yellow with these specks of red. Some people like to call it dragon's blood, even though that's not really a technical term. I'm fine with it if you want to use it. And then here's another one that's kind of similar. One of those Catoctin greenstones, probably. Let's see. Back to those chert. This one I didn't think was going to take a polish at all, really. Normally when you get this lighter brownish color, it's still kind of chalky. But this one turned out really well. You can see there's little bits of gray in there. Oh, my poor doggy wants to go outside. I guess I'm boring him. Let's see. There's another little piece of chert. And then these green with quartz. They're always fun. So all of these are rocks that I find right here in Virginia. If you are ever interested in buying anything that I've got, feel free to just shoot me a message, leave a comment somewhere. I'll figure out how to get in touch with you. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you again next time.